Hello lovely! In this video we're gonna give you model answers and vocabulary about fishing, a recent IELTS speaking part 1 topic. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and this is my fishing rod. And we're here to help prepare you for IELTS speaking and have a little bit of fun along the way.
Where's your fishing rod?
It's there, it's on the camera, don't worry.
Let's talk about fishing.
Let's talk about fishing.
Is fishing popular in your country?
Apparently. I've discovered recently that it's quite common for people to go up north and go salmon fishing there. And then just on the other side of the water, on the farther shore, you see lots of guys going there with their fishing rods and keep nets. So it seems like it's quite a common thing.
So is it your fishing rod, Rory?
Look, my fishing rods. And I talked about fishing rods in my answer, with the express purpose of talking about this. So this is a fishing rod.
Do you know how to use it?
I did know how to use it, but now I think I need to brush up on my fishing knowledge. But just to explain the different parts, this part here is the rod, even though the whole thing is referred to as a rod. This, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you'll see it if I put it in front of the microphone. It's like a small, well, it's like a very fine piece of string. But don't call it string. This is the line. It's what's used to attach to the lures at the end. And my dad made these. These are lures, and they're brightly coloured. And the idea is that the fish tries to eat them because it mistakes them for fish. Or whatever it's trying to eat. And then once it's eaten them, it's attached to the line, and you can reel them in, which I think is a phrasal verb. And if it's not, then it should be.
Reel them in.
So yes. Oh, and this small part at the end is the handle. Don't think that makes a difference.
Oh, and what do you call this thingy that stays above water and you have to stare at it? Because some fishing rods, like you throw them in and it's this thingy, like...
It's floating on the surface.
Yes. What do you call it?
I think that's the lure.
No.
The closest word I can think of is a buoy. And you could probably say that in the exam, because the examiner's probably not going to know either. Yeah, the float or the buoy. It's something that bobs along on the water. And it's attached to the lure, which is under the water. And when the fish eats the lure, it drags down the buoy, and you can see that you've got a bite, and then you start to reel them in.
It's called a fishing float or a boba.
I like the idea of mini boy, thank you, but I don't mean boy like a small male child. I mean boy like B-O-U-Y, I think is how you would say it, which is something that floats on the water.
So dear listener, even if you hate fishing, you've never gone fishing, do use this special vocabulary to impress the examiner, and as if you are like a professional fisher person, or fisherman, or a fisherwoman. A lot of people go salmon fishing. Salmon is a type of fish. We usually eat it in our sushi. Salmon, yum, 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 yum. This like nice fish. And if you go fishing to catch salmon, so you go salmon fishing. Okay? Dear listener, even if you don't go fishing, you can imagine that, oh yeah, okay, I'm into fishing, so why not? There are some good spots. Spots like fishing spots. Like places to catch fish, right?
And I think the full collocation is actually fishing spots.
So guys, people with their rods, or men with their rods, because usually men go fishing. Have you ever seen girls, like a group of girls, like, hey, let's go fishing, girls?
I have heard a theory about this, and the reason why it's usually men that go fishing is because apparently it's an excuse to escape their house and go and drink a lot while they're fishing, apparently.
What are keep nets?
Oh, keep nets are amazing. So, some people, when they catch a fish, they throw it back in the water, but the risk of that is you catch the same fish twice, and that can be quite damaging to the fish, in addition to being a massive waste of time. So instead what you do is you have a net next to you, but it's not a shallow net, it's a very deep net. It goes straight down. And when you catch your fish, you put it in this net, and it can swim around in the free space, but it doesn't escape to the wider water. And that way you can show people how many fish you can catch, and you also avoid damaging the fish, especially if you don't want to kill them. Maybe you're just angling for sport.
Angling is a very nice word, which is a synonym, kind of synonym to fishing. Angling, the sport of catching fish. See, so it's kind of a sport. And a person who does it is an angler. So like a person whose hobby is to catch fish. So it's kind of like professional. Angling, I'm an angler. You can say, oh, I used to be an amateur angler. Oh, yes, there are many anglers there. So people who enjoy catching fish. Do you like eating fish?
Oh yeah, I've always loved seafood. My favorite is salmon, whether it's a steak or if it's smoked salmon, it's immaterial. I think I'd probably eat it for lunch and dinner, well, every lunch and dinner if I could.
Eating fish. I enjoy eating fish. I love seafood. And here, dear listener, this is your showtime. You need some specific words about kinds of fish. Rory just said salmon, but come on, it's boring. Salmon. Like, you need some kind of like a place.
Place? No one likes eating place.
No, place is quite cool. It's really delicious. No. Place is a kind of flat fish. So it's kind of like this, like a pancake.
They're flat and bony, I think. I don't think anybody would enjoy eating them.
I did. Yes, I caught it myself. So if you go to our Instagram, I posted some stories. It's about a huge one, a place.
You must have been out at sea, because they're quite. I don't think they live close to the. I don't think they live close to the shore. Were you on a boat?
Yes, this is what we do in Kamchatka.
That is cool.
Not just some small rivers in Scotland, Rory. Some proper boats and proper fishing.
All right, whatever. Do you have a fishing rod? No.
The point is that you can use some nice words. For example, my favorite fish is trout or cod or sturgeon. You see, Google it, look at the pictures, choose 2 words to impress the examiner. Oh yeah, my favorite is trout. I enjoy grilled sturgeon. Band 9. Okay, promise. 2 words, you don't need all of them. Don't just go like tuna, salmon, it's boring. Give some, proper fish names. Sturgeon. Yes, don't be a clownfish, okay, dear listener? Just write some crazy fish names. Clownfish, it was a joke. You can use the second conditional. I'd have seafood for lunch and dinner if I could. So I would have it if I could. So imagine, like, if I had the money, I'd have fish every day, for example. Have you ever been to a place where there are lots of fish around you?
Yeah, I went scuba diving in Fiji and I was surrounded by all sorts of sea life there. There were sharks and rays and all sorts of fish darting in and out from the different coral reefs as well. And, well, closer to home, there's also a sea life centre, and that showcases the fish from cooler climes in much clearer water. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then you can head there.
A place where there are lots of fish around you. Rory, tell us, fish, is it fish? There are lots of fish, there is lots of fish, because it's just really fish confusing. It's really fishy business.
Well, if we're talking about many, then it should be there are lots of fish, surely.
Do we say there are lots of fishes?
You can, but it's not what I would say. I think the word fishes is not in common use.
Usually we say there are lots of fish. There are lots of fish. Fish is delicious, okay? But if you see many kinds of fish, we can say fishes. But again, usually we say fish. Fish or sea life. I went scuba diving in Fiji and I was surrounded by all kinds of fish, all kinds of species, kinds of fish, like rays, there we go, these flat thingies, rays, sharks, coral reefs.
I think rays and sharks are actually related to each other. And you can see this with sharks that live at the bottom of the ocean. They tend to be quite flat. And so you can see this shared body shape with the rays.
You can also lie, dear listener. There are some very good spots to go fishing. For example, the Bahamas. I've Googled it. Or Costa Rica, okay? Sicily in Italy, right? So good Mediterranean fishing. Or Scotland. Hooray! There are some flying fish there.
Oh my God, yes, actually, this is true. I was standing watching the sea with a friend the other day, and this fish just leapt out of the water. So we do have flying fish.
Have you seen any movies with lots of fish?
I used to watch and rewatch this National Geographic documentary on, well, it's just life in the Caribbean Sea in general, but it also focused on the fish there. And growing up, I loved the Jaws movies. I think more recently, one of the last ones I saw were the Piranha movies, and it's like a horror movie that showed different schools and shoals of these killer fish.
A super strange question. Movies with lots of fish. Well, Jaws, obviously. But then you can go nerdy and say about National Geographic documentaries. I watch documentaries about, octopuses. Is octopus fish?
That is a very good question. I don't know. Let's find out.
Please educate us. Octopus is a fish, or...
Oh, yes, that's right. They're not. Octopuses are cephalopods.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, we can talk about documentaries, but Rory also mentioned this horrible film, Piranha.
No, just piranha.
Piranha.
But piranha are just a species of fish from the Amazon that they usually eat living flesh. I think they could also eat dead things as well.
Why did you say schools of fish? Schools of killer fish.
I did this on purpose because you see these two words for groups of fish. You have a school of fish and a shoal of fish. And if I'm right, it's a school of fish when they are moving. But when they stop to feed, it's a shoal of fish.
It's just band 15, dear listener. Seriously. So, I've Googled films about fish and Big Fish. Maybe you should watch it. The Little Mermaid. Half fish, half woman. A woman, female fish. The Mermaid, The Little Mermaid. Also, we have Finding Dory, A Fish Tale, SpongeBob. We have Piranhas. And Nemo. We have Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. There we go, dear listener. Okay. And Jaws. Why do people go fishing?
Well, the most obvious answer would be to catch fish, but that's not exactly very complex, is it? So, in more depth, angling is quite a popular sport where I live, and so it could just be for sport. Or, in some places, it's like a way of life. I think there's a tribe in Madagascar that I was reading about recently that's they're specialized everything about life in their village to be focused on harvesting things from the sea. So like I say, for them, it's a way of life.
People go fishing to catch fish. Not only that, okay? Fishing, you can say, I Googled it. Fishing is a unique way to get exercise. So you work out. Fishing relieves stress. Okay? Fishing improves your concentration because you have to stare at the floating thing. Fishing float.
The mini boy.
Yeah, but the internet calls it fishing float.
Well, I'm calling it a mini boy.
And then you can use this word angling. Remember? Angling, like a sport to catch fish. Angling is a popular sport in some communities, and there is a fishing community in Scotland. Rory talked about Madagascar for some reason.
I don't know, it just triggered a memory in me. I remember watching these fishermen, and they can swim underwater for like 2 minutes without coming up for air, which is amazing. I can barely manage 30 seconds, so it's like their bodies have adapted to the water. That's so cool.
So they dive to catch fish, or they just dive
Free dive without equipment. They've been doing it for, well, my guess would be tens of thousands of years. I'm not sure if it's Madagascar, but I'm definitely sure it's not Scotland, that's for sure.
Yeah, but they do this not to go fishing.
No, they free dive and they catch fish. This helps them with harpoons, I think, or with spears.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's very impressive.
So, dear listener, are you ready for the joke?
I am not ready for the joke.
And dear listener, if you listened to this episode super attentively and you understood some of the vocabulary, you will get the joke and you will laugh. Okay? Why are fish so smart?
Why?
Because they swim in schools. They swim in schools, dear listener. Did you get that? Right. Thank you very much for watching, for listening, for buying our premium episodes. Yes, we do have speaking part 2 and 3. The link is in the description. Do check our premium episodes. Thank you. Be with us. Write in the comments. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I've got some fish to fry. Do we say that? I've got some fish to fry? No?
I don't know. I'm going to put up a sign saying gone fishing.